Yeah, wanna yeah, wanna know yeah.
Hello, this is Ryan Riccitelli with ASNews.net and the Kiteboarder magazine, and today I have Joe Bidawid out of Detroit, Michigan, and he's here to talk about the Crossing for Cancer he is doing, and it's going to be across Lake Michigan from St. Joe to west-southwest Chicago, and Joe is actually going to be it's going to be stand-up paddleboarding across Lake Michigan. So, Joe, I hope I didn't murder that, but you can fill in the blanks where I left off, Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Brother Ryan. Hope you're doing good.
Thank you.
Stoked to be on here with you. As you started, I'm in Detroit, Michigan. I work as a Nash rep for the Great Lakes region for windsurfing, kiteboarding, and now some of the surfing products. I get around and been on the Great Lakes for 20 years, and a long dream has been to cross the lake, and this stand-up paddleboarding allows me the vehicle to kind of control my destiny, even though it's pretty brutal. It's the nautical distance is 50 miles. I expect to be paddling for about between 60 and 80 miles. So that's been my goal. I've been working at it for 8 months. I started last summer on Lake Michigan and also in and around local areas in Detroit. I did it all through my travels from December through April, and then I'm back at it in high gear this spring and summer here in Michigan.
Well, and what prompted all this?
I feel like there's a lot of things that came into place. One of the main things is last August I opened my email and there was a letter from a great friend, Steve Skillings, who's sort of a reflection of me, and incredibly healthy, active waterman. And he, in his email, he's told everyone that he had stage 4 cancer, and it was a pretty touching letter, and it definitely had a lot of impact on my life. It became a burden, and I just felt like, he, in his letter, he kind of asked for people to chip in to make a difference, and I felt like it was time to try to make a difference, and at the same time, I'd gotten my board and was looking at, was kind of realizing that I could try to go across the lake, and just really wanted to try to do something, try to make a positive difference, try to make a difference in my life, and try to do it for a good cause, something I really believe in. So that's on a personal note, I've also lost my dad to cancer. So I've been touched by it a little, more than I'd like, and I think in Steve's letter he mentions that if most people, when they hear about cancer, they like to help, and he indicates that if we all chip in, maybe we can find a cure in our lifetime. But the only way to do that is if we do all chip in and try to make a difference.
Well, and I think you're right, and obviously stand-up paddleboarding is a little off topic of usually our normal kiteboarding format, but we're also interviewing Tanya Farman, who is also doing a great, doing what she's doing to help build awareness and raise money for cancer. But the one thing I want to say is that until you've had it hit somebody close to yourself, it's an awakening that you kind of have, and for the bigger picture of what cancer actually represents and how many people are actually affected by it. So for many of you, I'm sorry this isn't the typical podcast on kiteboarding or whatsoever, but it is a chance for us to talk about kind of, all of us are very healthy individuals. We're lucky to be healthy. We're lucky to be able to go out and kiteboard and have the strength to do that. And like a person like yourself who's getting up on a paddleboard and you're willing to go and paddle across Lake Michigan for this cause, I mean, I think it's great, and I wanted to give you the venue to be able to talk about this, because I know who you are, and I also know that you have a bunch of people in your area who really support a lot of the things you do. So why don't you talk about some of the support that you're getting from the local community and just the area?
Ryan, first and foremost, I want to thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts with you and your listeners. Second, I'm honored to be mentioned in the same breath as what Tanya's doing. I think that's an amazing effort, and I would encourage people to visit her site and really try to get the effective message there. So I'm honored to be mentioned in the same breath as what she's doing. All I really was trying to do was trying to raise awareness. That's first and foremost. And if people feel inspired to donate and try to make a difference, that's great. I've been kiteboarding for 8 years, and I love kiteboarding. And I kiteboard. I try to kiteboard as much as I can. Obviously, lately, I've had to train, so I've been kind of on the schedule as far as training, and I have to be a little bit choosy with what days I can ride. But last Thursday I was supposed to train, and instead I rode. We rode waves on Lake Michigan, and I rode in Muskegon, and I rode chest to waist high waves for 4 hours, and the whole entire coast went off, and that's what I live for. I think the one amazing thing is the stand-up paddleboarding has allowed me to do is I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm a better kiteboarder, and it all ties in together. So the fact that I expect to be kiteboarding for a long time, and I'm just happy to be adding a new thing to my list of ways to enjoy the water.
Well, and Joe, I mean, there's also a little bit of a tie-in here for kiteboarding too. And tell us about the Nash. Is it a 2008 quiver that you're giving away?
Yeah, I mean I'm really happy with the support we've gotten from Nash, Hawaii, and Charlie at Pacific Board Sports, and we just have those guys have always been supportive, and it's great to see them step it up and try to get people to rally, and at the same time, someone will be a really happy kiteboarder as a result.
And how do people get involved?
Well, I feel I think if you're again I'm a kiteboarder first and foremost. I am stand-up paddleboarding across Lake Michigan because I feel that this is a way where I can control my destiny and do this. In the case, at first I would encourage people to go to both sites. I think if people haven't had a chance to visit Tanya's site, it's www.kb4c.org, kb4c.org, and my website is lakemichigancrossing.com, lakemichigancrossing.com. And on the site is pretty simple. It allows people an opportunity to get a really brief introduction, and it has on there the letter from Steve Skillings that sort of inspired me and started this whole mission. And also it allows people an opportunity to donate. All the proceeds go directly to the American Cancer Society, and so there's no changing of funds. All the money, all the donations are made on the official American Cancer Society website.
Well, and that's just a really cool cause. Now, like, what's been the feedback from your friend?
Well, again, I've been, I'm just like everybody else. My first priority is to ride and stay on the water as much as I can. So this whole thing has sort of been a learning experience. The website and trying to get the word out. had really positive feedback. One thing for me is I've been training and doing this, and not too many people have known about this, mainly because I started late summer last year, and initially people saw me on the board, and and in a lot of cases they didn't see me on the board because I was doing it when we didn't have wind. But it's just been amazing. I wasn't really, the expectations were low. I wanted to raise awareness, and my family, I've had an amazing reaction from my family. They've really rallied around this. They're doing a couple of fundraisers, and my sponsors, Nash has been incredibly supportive. Rip Curl has been incredibly supportive, and Life Force V is one of my sponsors, and they're doing a fundraiser here locally in Michigan. And I'm just really touched and honored by all the support. And again, I think the whole idea is to raise awareness, because I think we've all thought about or considered donating and have tried to make a difference. I just want to kind of bring that to the forefront and let people know that we live a great lifestyle, and we're healthy people. I'm sure all of us would like to stay that way, and we'd like to. It'd be nice to rally together and do something for a good cause.
Well, that's awesome, Joe. You have a website out there, and why don't you drop that and tell our readers and listeners where they can go and go be participate with your cause or learn more about it.
It's it's LakeMichiganCrossing.com, LakeMichiganCrossing.com, and if someone has any questions or concerns, my email is on there. They can contact me. And for all the people, the website has been live for less than a week, and the reaction has been amazing. And I think my goal was to raise $2,000, and already we've exceeded that, and the website has been up for 5 days. So it's I'm just amazed and again touched and honored with all the support. I appreciate everyone's help, and the bottom line is I'm going to be looking to do something that I've dreamed about and love to do, and which is stay on the water. And I thank everyone that has the time and consideration to visit the website.
Well, Joe, hey, thanks for coming on the show today, and thanks for giving us a heads up on this, and we wish you the best of luck.
Great, Ryan. I really enjoyed reading the last issue of the Kiteboarder magazine. Thanks for providing that for us, and I really appreciate your time.
No problem, man. Well, we'll get you back on the show here soon.
Thank you, brother.
All right.